Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a live swatch and review of the 6 new browns and tans in the China Glaze coffee inspired I Don't Give a Sip collection for fall 2022. These were a little bit delayed coming out from HQ over at China Glaze, but I have them in my hands now, so I want to get this review to you as soon as possible so you can decide if these need to be part of your fall attire, and let me know down in the comments below what you think as we go along, and let's go ahead and see how the live application goes. We're going to start with Brew That. We're going to go in alphabetical order through the collection. This is our milk chocolate shade, and it's a little yellow leaning as well. And you're going to notice as you watch me start swatching these that they are all on the thin side. I thought as I looked at these that they could have made these, almost all of them, just delicious plump one coaters pretty much, because I've seen China Glaze do a more robust formula, but for some reason they did this really thin formula, so you definitely need 2 coats on all of these, and in some cases you will still see a little bit of streakiness at the 2 coats. Caffeinated and Motivated is next. So this is like the 3rd darkest. Brew That was the 2nd darkest. Now we're going a little lighter, and this is just like a yummy kind of toffee color, and it's going to swatch just like the previous one. And so, I mean, it goes on easy enough. Because it is runny, you have to make sure not to, overflow the nail bed, but thinner polishes can be a little bit easier to work with because you have a little bit more play to move the polish around a little bit more and, get it where you want it. Next up, we have Coffee First, People Later, and this is... It's not a white polish, even though it looks really white, because up against a white, you can tell this has a pinch of cream in it. So this is a tiny little bit of creamy white. I do have comparisons for everything that we're looking at today, so you can look forward to that directly after the live swatching. So this polish was not my fave. I have swatched so many whites that can get it done at 2 coats, and this one was streaky, and I just wasn't a fan. So yeah, like I said, it's not exactly white, but it's close enough, and you just get a formula that you can count on. Hug and a Mug. We have 2 of these like kind of light khaki shades. This one is the more yellow toned and slightly lighter one. They do both look really, I think, nice on your nail if you're looking for a light neutral. And at first glance, I thought, oh, these look exactly the same. But no, this one is the more yellow toned one, and I felt like they were different enough on that I appreciated having them both. So there's the first of the 2 khakis. And next we have Mocha Mama. That's really fun to say. This one is the one that's on my thumb, that's been on my thumb for the duration of the video. And as you can see, this is just slightly, less yellow toned. We've got some more tan vibes going on in here. And I nearly have an exact dupe for you for this one. Spoiler. So, yeah, stay tuned. We have one more polish after this one, and then we'll get into the dupes and comparisons in case you've been looking at this collection and thinking, I'm pretty sure I have China Glaze dupes for all of these. That's what I was kind of thinking too. But then I was a little surprised with my findings, so you'll see. The last polish in the collection is called My Broomstick Runs on Coffee, and we've just got a nice deep black coffee kind of color here. This is a very dark brown with lots of yellow in it, but I started painting and I thought, this formula is just so strange to me. It's anemic. It was reminding me, like, that's what I was thinking. And so on the nail, you're going to need a nice juicy top coat so that you can give yourself more plump vibes, because it ends up looking so thin on the nail. So I don't know. I thought the formula was a strange choice. I probably would choose a different polish over shades in this collection just because of that thinness. I wasn't very into it. So let's start these dupes and comparisons. So I discovered as I was going through here that China Glaze has a lot less neutrals with nothing in them than, say, Essie and OPI. Those two brands are much more prolific with their plain neutrals, but China Glaze has a number of them, but not as many that don't have shimmer or like little micro flakies or glitter in them. So I'm only showing things that don't have any shimmer, so that did, you know, knock a lot of things out of the running for comparisons here. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're gonna start with the lightest shade, which was my least favorite out of the collection because I feel like it had not a very fun formula to work with. This is Coffee First, People Later. And Life is Sweet is there on the side, and I discovered, I was reminded that that is a matte shade. It is very, very matte. And then on the other side, we have Friends Forever, right? I have two comparisons for you within the Giver collection, the limited edition collection that they did years and years ago. And for those of you who are fans of that collection, two polishes in this collection are pretty similar. So that's exciting if you wanted to snag those for that reason. So as you can see, this polish basically looks white, but up next to a stark white polish, it has a tiny bit of cream in it. This has a tiny bit more tanny pink cream color in it. And then this is if you add even more. So you can see the progression there. Coffee First, Friends Later is not, People Later is not a white shade. It has a little bit of cream, but not very much. So there's those comparisons, and this will be 2 coats of everything without top coat today. So here's what I pulled out for my comparisons of the Milk Chocolate Brown, and that shade is called Brew That. It's right there in the middle. So I don't have an exact dupe for you. A couple of similar things. Mahogany Magic, as you can see, is more yellow toned. And then less yellow toned and a little bit darker, we have Community from the Giver collection. So some similar things, but like I said, China Glaze just didn't have a whole plethora of just plain cream shades, which I was surprised by, making it a pretty low dupe rate for this collection if you're looking for something that has no shimmer or any other element in there. All right, the deep dark brown in this collection is called My Broomstick Runs on Coffee. So it is a deep yellowy brown, and I don't know if you can tell as well as I can tell in person. You can definitely tell that this is more yellow toned than this. When they are built up and on the nail, they will look very similar, but this one almost gives you some deep plummy vibes in that brown. But if you already have this and you're thinking, well, I don't really love yellow toned browns, then you might as well pop on this. It's going to give you a similar look. So this shade is What Are You Afraid Of? Again, another older collection, so you might not have this, but it's the most similar thing that I had from China Glaze in my line, since I decided I didn't want to start pulling in polishes from OPI and Essie to give you comparisons. All right, and as for the medium shade, it's called Caffeinated and Motivated. The closest thing was the Snuggle Is Real, which you can see has a lot more pink in it. So no exact dupe here from China Glaze of a just plain cream polish. But if you wanted something a little bit more rosy toned, that is a great option for you. All right, now these lighter taupey, almost taupey to tan colors is where China Glaze does have a lot more options for you. So the most similar dupe for you that I have to Mocha Mama is going to be Throne in Shade. And that one's on the far end. They are actually very, very close. I think that you could get away with just, if you had those side by side, I don't think people would notice the difference. There on that side, we have Sandy Scales from the Jurassic Park collection, and it is matte, but you could certainly just throw a top coat on and it would be really, really similar. It's slightly more taupey. And then a lighter version of this kind of color of tan is Pixelated. All right, and last up right there in the middle, we have Hug in a Mug, which was pretty close to Mocha Mama anyway, but as you can see, this is more yellowy tan and not going towards taupe as much. So I have 2 options for you that you could wear that are not exact dupes. In fact, Pixelated is pretty close to this as well, but it's lighter. And then even Life is Sweet over here that I compared to the other polish, it's similar as well, but if you want something much lighter. So Hug in a Mug is there in the middle. And then we have Sorry I'm Latte on the side, which as you can see is rosier. So I had a lot of rosier things for you. And then I'm No Tourist is on this side, and if you just want a little bit lighter option. So all in all, I didn't have a ton of exact dupes for you. Really only one that I feel like was a almost dead on dupe. But a lot of similar things. But that's just not China Glaze's niche, is just doing plain cream neutrals, which I like because SE and OPI do that very, very well. China Glaze might as well work with more fun and interesting components. That's kind of more where their wheelhouse is. All right, guys, so what are your thoughts about this collection? Is this collection totally up your alley? You're feeling all of the neutrals and the warmth this fall, or is this just kind of too boring for you? You like a lot more color. That's kind of in the camp that I'm at. I can totally appreciate a delicious neutral, but a whole collection of neutrals is just something that I find that I might just want to pick a few polishes from and maybe not pick up the whole collection. So hopefully you found this review to be very helpful for you in your shopping to decide which polishes are must-haves for you. I am very appreciative that you stopped by for this video today. Thank you for your continued support of this channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you aren't already. I will see you back for another review very soon. Take care. Bye.